come down to Aberlour next to the Spey River to go to Linn Falls. I'm meeting a friend here who's recommended this place to me, so I think it's pretty special. So you get some nice long exposure shots of the waterfall, and if space allows it between the trees, maybe pop the Mavic up to have a look at the place from above. But as you can see, it's pretty well densely forested. So with any luck though, we'll get a shot or two in the bag, and it's a nice change of pace from being beside the sea to back in the forest again. Look at this tree. That's so cool. Don't know why it's cooler than normal, but it just is. Maybe it's just because it's right beside the path and it's so big. Who knows? Anyway, carry on and see if we can find something to photograph. So Chris was right. Linn Falls is a little bit of special. Okay, this I can work with. That's a nice little falls. And some good stuck tree branches. And some good spots to photograph them from with a slightly longer lens. So just in case you couldn't hear me there because of the falls, it's a good little spot to photograph from down there. A nice tree branch in the way, with a slightly longer focal length, just to try and crush its perspective together so that the waterfall doesn't seem too far off. That's the hope anyway. But let's get down and take a closer look and see what we can figure out. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. I've taken a couple of test shots and I've decided that a 1.5 second exposure, or 1 1/3 second exposure seems to be perfect. To do that, I've got a polarizer on, circular polarizer, and I'm using a grad. I'm using a I think it's the 1.2, yeah, the 1.2 medium grad, which actually seems to be working quite well. It's just to hold back the slightly lighter background, and it seems to be doing a perfect job actually for what I need to do here. I'll show you the composition. So that's the composition there. That's the composition with the rocks and the branch in the foreground, and then the obvious waterfall in the background. And I'll show you the back of the camera. So pretty decent. What I am going to do though, just to be on the safe side, is focus stack it, just so that I know it's pin sharp all the way through, because I'm at just shy of 35mm, probably about 30mm. So with that slightly longer focal length, my depth of field is slightly reduced. So I'm just erring on the side of caution. So I'm going to focus first there on this first rock in the foreground, and then probably those rocks there, and then finally the waterfall. And what I'm going to do is just move the little box round, back button focus because I'm slightly lazy. Looks like there's a little bit less light, 1 1/6 second now. So here we go for the first shot. And then move the focus point, refocus. Same, everything else is the same though. And then finally on the waterfall, and final shot. I'll just let you see the final shot here. So just a little bit of masking and blending in Photoshop. I'll bring those 3 images together into one whole image at the end that should be pin sharp all the way through. I am shooting at f11 though, just to be on the safe side. So there's a good chance I may not even need to do this, and I can just focus in the mid-ground, and I should have enough hyperfocal distance to give me decent focal range, a decent depth of field. So just the one just the one grad filter, just the one polarizer, no need for any 6 stops or 3 stop NDs. It's not enough light in here to really get that happening. But I have thought of something. Drone long exposure of the waterfall from in there. Woo-hoo-hoo. Am I brave enough to do this? Stupid enough to do this? Probably. But there's definitely more than one composition in here. So I'm gonna put the camera away for a second and have another hunt around, but I'm really happy with this first composition here. Really, really pleased with it. I think it's a nice, simple, but natural image, which is a great thing. Anyway, let's have a go with the drone and see what we can do. Fingers crossed. All right, bye for now. That was a bit strange. So I had the drone up in there, and I had full control, sort of. It was full GPS, full connection from the controller, but it just sort of drifted around and sort of moved on its own. I don't know what was going on, if it was just updraft from the waterfall, or if it was, I don't know, some sort of the signal interference from it bouncing around in the rocks and the trees. It was really weird. And in tripod mode, it was so slow to react to my inputs that, oh man, it's just a bit scary. But I got my shots, pretty happy. Chris is here now, he's getting some shots down at the water's edge, and it's just a great spot. I had the drone up, trying to do a long exposure. I'm not confident they'll have worked, but we'll get another couple of shots in the bag.